that you've put together your clips, what we're going to do is add a little bit of a soundtrack to it. You normally spend a little bit more time looking for music that will match your clips, particularly for something like this, because music adds a lot of suspense or anything like that. I've got a couple of clips for you now. If you go to the videos for tutorials and go to music for clips, you'll see there are these 3 songs. Now we're going to use different sections of each one, and some of them are a little bit cliche, but I've sort of gone for that on purpose because it's kind of a corny acting sequence. So we're going to go to the very beginning, which is, I'm going to add sort of like a bit of a creepy feel to it because I'm seeing myself. So I'm going to go with this this one here, Thomas Newman, and we're going to actually drag them all in to our library. You can see that they're music because they get this little wave icon instead of a video icon. So it's this one here, and if you double click it, just like a video sequence, you can choose the section you want. Okay, so it sounds a little bit creepy, which is what we were trying to go for there. And I want to, you can see down at the bottom here, you can see the time that your clips go for. So I want mine to play this creepy music until probably about here, which is 23 seconds. So we're going to have a little bit of a crossfade between the music. So I'm going to make it go for a tiny bit longer, probably about 24. So now that 24 is the time I want up here, I'm going to drag this until I get to 24, which is about there. Okay, now I'm going to set the out point using O. And if you don't set an in point, it automatically assumes it's the start. And now all I've got to do is once again drag it down. Sorry. Once you've set the out point from here, you can drag it from here as well. And I'm just going to put it into audio 2. Okay, so now it goes like this. If we have a look at our clip, wow, that acting gets me every time. Depending on if you think the music is too loud or not, I think it was probably a tiny bit too loud, although can't really tell until you start hearing some talking. So that's where we're going to put in our next song, and then we can adjust the audio levels a bit later. I want to get a little bit more upbeat, so this one here is the next one we're going to play with, which is Icon Audio. And if we go to here and play it, starting to get a little bit tense. Let's go to, if I was to click on the edge of my clip here and double click, like so, you get this little red line that allows the current time indicator to jump and start right there, which is where we want it to be, which is the start of where this next music is going to begin from. And we are going to have a look where we want to stop. So probably about here is we're going to probably keep going with this actually until here. Alright, so we're going to play the same music until right here. And it's a little bit hard to see, but that's at a minute 18, and this is about 23. So it needs to go for about 50 seconds to a minute. What we're going to do is move this to probably about here. Set the out point. I'm going to drag it down. Sorry, from here. Drag it down from here. And we're going to move it onto audio 3. That way our music can overlap a little bit and not just abruptly stop. And we're just going to zoom out just a little bit. Okay, so it's a little bit too long, but that's easy to fix. All we got to do is drag it across like this until it sort of fits the area we want. Okay, and then we've got our other music, which is this classical music fast one here. Double click that, and this one's a little bit silly. Because it's going to be a little bit silly here in this scene. So what we're going to do is just drag that one down after we check how long it needs to go for, which is probably about here. It'll probably stop about there with the gun pointing at him. And that's probably that's about a minute again. So we're just going to scrub that to about there. Out point, drag it in up to the next layer above, audio 2, so that they can overlap. Very good. And then just drag it back to probably about there. Okay, so we've got these 3 songs looping over each other. And we might go back with our creepy music again. And you'll notice if you go back to music you've already edited before, it shows you where you use the music from. And it also shows, where you're up to last, which is really useful. I'm going to go and I'm actually going to use the music directly after the music we used at the beginning. That way it'll just sound like it's meant to be there. So I'm just going to go from there. I'm going to set the in point there. And then I'm just going to play it up for about here. Out point, drag it down again. Notice if I drag from here, it'll use the sequence we just chose, not the old one. Just move it across a little bit and then move that to there so that they snap on and finish at the same time. And now we've got our music set up, but at the moment our music isn't flowing into itself seamlessly. So what we need to do is add some fade in and fade out effects, which is what we're going to do now.